This is Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search from my site. This right here is Dwayne Reed. I'm at Starbucks. I'm not at Starbucks. I'm outside Starbucks. See that right there? If I were on this side of the line, I'd be in Starbucks. This side of the line, Port Authority bus terminal. So this is the way I don't get hassled about not buying coffee. I'm in starting up with Postmates. I claim this series is going to be effective training for people considering Postmates, considering Postmates again. I think there's a lot of people that tried it that it just never gelled. They're considering trying it again. There's some very attractive parts to it, and there's also some very there's some deflecting mechanisms in this tech employment. So I'm going to try to cover a few of them. I claim in this series that there are elements of the training I can offer as an authentic novice. This job is not that hard. These little quirky things that make me a novice, I'll probably work through them in a week. I'm through a lot of them as of yesterday. I'll no longer be the novice I claim to be, no longer have the advantage of these things kind of seeming weird. So there's a lot of quirky things. I also contrast myself to Diego. Diego's an employee of Postmates. He's in management. He did the training of my orientation. And in the first of this series, I did this kind of attempt at entertaining thing about how Diego's cool and not as cool. All that stuff's valid. However, the mechanism of what I was trying to communicate, I will just extract that smaller element and repeat it here. Diego is an expert. Diego hasn't been a novice now for 3 years. And when he was a novice, there weren't tens of thousands of Postmates. When he was a novice, the app was not as polished as it is today. They didn't have as competent staff to call in orders and do these types of things. So in some ways, the training, if someone is able to give their attention to this series who's considering Postmates, this is what it's like to be a novice. Diego can teach you what it's like to be an expert, but you're not going to be an expert. There's really some things that get troubling. I'll start with the first elements of my day. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to go to schedules. Listeners, I have my phone here. I'm going to be showing some things on the phone that are in the app and not on the internet. That's everything in an app is on the internet, but they're in an app and they're not accessible by a non-app computer. So this computer that's doing Hangouts does not operate. It's not Apple and it's not Android, so it doesn't. So it doesn't operate the app. Oh, good. I have the window open. So here we go. Share screen. I'm going to go to schedule. And now I'm sharing my screen, presenting to everyone. And so here is the schedule. I'll go from the beginning. I have a button that takes me there, but that would overlook the value of training. So I say postmates.com/courier/schedule. So that's going to take me to the screen where I already am. I just repeated that. I did something wrong. Postmates.com. Let me go to there for my button. Postmates.com, courier.schedules. All right, postmates.com/courier/schedules. See, there's the S. That's what I missed the first time. Schedules. So right now, when I started looking at the schedule, there were always 2 weeks available, but now it's Monday, so we got a full week ahead of us, and the next schedule starting on a Monday is not yet here. So Okay, the details that I will be covering in this hour, which is the hour I am in at this moment, it says closed. Now, I was fortunate enough to get all these hours scheduled today. My wife finishes at 6, and I want that hour, but it just doesn't open. So I've been watching it. I looked at it this morning at least 3 times, having coffee, checked it again. It's just not opening. I am hunting for this hour. What happens is if someone surrenders it, you see it's a rush hour. If someone surrenders that hour, it will become blue, allowing me to either sign up or take someone's swap. Now, listeners, please, this is practical and relevant. I, like most people who are not uh, fluid in their routine, forget things. So, like, I forgot my name tag this morning. Listeners, I'll show you my name tag. Stop sharing screens. Okay. Most people would not go back for that, and I wouldn't either, but I was at a cafe very close, and the jacket I was wearing was too warm. So I decided to go back. Sharing screen again. And I really liked having it yesterday. Someone even asked me if it was required. So I went back to get my name tag. These are the kinds of things. All of a sudden, I'm late. This is predictable. I'm doing something that is not routine. Some of the little details just can't be predicted. What do you know? I'm late. So back to the schedule. I had myself scheduled for this hour. And so, listeners, please pay attention to this. I promise my circumstances are unique. Nothing in the detail applies to you, but something in the process, I guarantee, will apply to you. It's called running late. So here's my situation. I'm still in New Jersey. I had a coffee, decided to go home for my name tag and a lighter jacket, and now it's almost 9 o'clock. I'm scheduled. Now I knew I wasn't going to be in the city for this hour, but my thinking was I'm going to be on a bus, so I'm going to go online and I'm going to start skipping the orders. Now, this is kind of bullshit because it's a legitimate hour. I get priority dispatching, and I'm not in a position to take any of them. So I get the sense that, out of some sense of morality and ethics, that you can skip them. That's no problem. But skipping them with the impossibility of taking any of them is kind of somehow bad fashion. But that's only my own sense. Nobody said that, and there certainly seems to be no penalty for misbehaving as I just described. So I was planning on being on the bus at maybe like 9:15. I'm going to be in the city like I am now. I arrived about 15 minutes ago, and then I would be legitimately available for a delivery. So now I'm running late. That idea was good, but now I'm not even going to be in the city for even half of this hour. So I changed my mind. And I changed my mind. I pulled out my cell phone, and it was 8:58, and I went right here, and I clicked on swap. Swap means I'm making it available for swap, and that's what I did. And I haven't received any notices or any error messages to say they hate me for that. So it was only 2 minutes before the hour, and I made that available for swap. Somewhere in the process of the hour, it closes. And no matter what it says here, it all becomes closed somehow during the hour, but not immediately. Somehow during the hour, it changes to close. Okay, so that's the hour at the beginning of my shift, and that's reality. That's a person's schedule colliding with reality, leaving a gap. In my case, I was late. Circumstances in my situation are unique. They will never happen to anyone in the way they happen to me. However, the general process of running late is going to happen. So there you go. I don't know if the training cannot cover anything as detailed as what I just covered. So whether I'm right or not right, expert, not expert, novice, whatever, that's what I did, and it appears I got away with it. Again, I continue to hunt for this hour, and in 10 minutes, I'm going to take my cell phone and I'm going to put it online, and I will show that. And then I will begin taking deliveries very soon. Now, here's a reality of my schedule. Listeners, this is my attempt to re-enter the workforce. Working at home was modestly successful, and I did that for a decade, less than a decade, maybe less than a decade, and so it wasn't a success, but it wasn't a complete failure. So I have things that I have to do, which is why this job is so attractive. For exactly why this job's attractive to me is, again, these details will not replay in anyone's life. However, the idea that you need flexibility. For me, in very practical terms, I am checking my email right now, which I did about 5 minutes ago, because at this moment I'm being paid by Adam Strom to be the secretary receptionist for his business. Now I have no messages from his business, so I don't have any calls to return, but for another 70 minutes I might. So I got to continue to check my voicemail and return those phone calls. In addition to that, I have to flip Adam's phone back. So these are the kinds of things that make Postmates appealing. I don't want to quit that work because it's really fun, and occasionally it turns into other bigger things than receptionist. In addition to that, I am monitoring after the mail gets sorted today. My mailbox in Jersey City, I will call that mailbox, and I might have a check for my amigo in India. Now, this is crazy exciting because it's mailed from California. It is in the mail, and if that arrives today, I immediately spring into action. Listeners, please, again, I just told some details. It's impossible that these circumstances play out in your life. Exactly. However, this possibility, I'm going to share my screen again. So now I'm talking about waiting for a check in the mail. Share my screen, go back to schedule. So now here I am. I'm going to, do a very soon. I'm going to flip into online. I'm going to start taking. I'm going to do that now. Take my phone. Okay, I just picked up my phone. I'm not. I know I'm not. I'm going to do this. Stop sharing screen. Okay, there's my phone. This is the Green Fleet Postmate app. There's only two apps. One is green, it says Fleet. The other is black, it says Postmates. Black, Postmates is for customers. Green, Fleet is for couriers. So I go from here to, why did I get into this? Because I'm going to turn it on. Okay, so here I am at the main screen. I'm going to click right up here on account, right up there on that arrow, which takes me to my account, which looks like that. And this right here says offline. I'm going to go online. That banner is going to turn green. And in theory, I will start getting jobs, but I'm not yet priority dispatch. So now I just turned it on. Now it's green. I think that shows. It sort of looks green to me. Listeners, you might see it as green. Now down here it says priority dispatch. No. Now that's supposed to automatically flip to yes in 6 minutes because I'm scheduled on that hour. So I'm going to put this cell phone a little closer to my person so I can feel it if it vibrates. So now I have my cell phone just kind of tucked down in the upper level of my shoe. A note on shoes, they say wear comfortable shoes. That's understated. If you work a day like I did yesterday, you don't just wear comfortable shoes. You wear shoes that are suitable for walking a marathon. Now today I'm not going to walk a marathon, but yesterday I did nothing but Postmates for 8 hours. So again, the shoes, wear comfortable shoes. That's not good enough. Wear shoes that are suitable for walking. Slippers are comfortable footwear, but they're not good for 8 hours walking in the city. So now all of a sudden here I am. I'm going to share my screen again. So this is a very practical situation. After the mail is sorted in Jersey City, I'm going to call. And when I do, one of my amigos in the mailroom is going to tell me if my check has arrived. I've been calling every day since Thursday. So the check is coming in a name Debt Relief for You, which is my company, but the money was earned by my friend in India. So what's going to happen is I'm going to be like maybe here in this 1 to 2 o'clock hour when I call my mailroom amigos in Jersey City. They're going to say, yes, we have the check. So if it's no, I just go about my business. That's a boring option. So let's pretend yes. So now all of a sudden, I'm just going to get in here. I'm I'm probably, I'm on the schedule. I'm out in a position. I'm in the zone. I will probably finish the hour that I'm in. But as soon as I realize I'm not going to work these hours, I'm going to get in and click, 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 and I'm going to make them available. Okay. So listeners, please pay attention to this because I'm going to emphasize this from both sides. This is the flexibility you will need, not because you're getting a check for a friend in India, but because you have something that your activity and whether you can work these schedules will be contingent on something else. The classic one is, child calls from school and is sick. Okay, this is how you get off. You don't interact with a boss in this job. That's how you get off. You go and you offer it for swap. So I could be overly cautious and just not schedule myself. Oh, the check's going to come in. But then all of a sudden it doesn't come in, and now I'm not priority dispatched because I'm not scheduled. I don't want to do that. I was able to get these shifts. I feel fortunate. There's a very good chance I'm going to work them. So I've opted for this arrangement. So please consider this from the other side. Now you're not scheduled, and instead you're hunting for these very hours. So Tom Duty, someone you don't know, one of the tens of thousands of Postmates, has a sick child or a check that comes in, and he or she goes click, 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 and makes those hours available. That's how these hours become available, and that's why I continue to hunt this hour because I want that hour. Now, again, let's go through two circumstances. One, I could get that hour, and then as soon as I get it, I realize my check comes in, and I immediately release it. So that's how fluid the system is. These hours become available and unavailable, and available and unavailable again. So I continue to hunt for that hour. If I scanned ahead on, oh God, it doesn't seem like I have anything scheduled on Tuesday, right? Because I'm not working Tuesday or Wednesday. So so there we go. That's a detailed about the schedule. In my hangouts last night, I forgot to cover a traumatic moment at McDonald's. Now, I did talk about this police activity I was engaged in on 67th Street, across from the precinct, beautiful synagogue, very near the Armory in the Upper West Side. So after that, I had the good fortune of having a route that could take me if I elected to, directly back by this building. So I did. I ended up taking this picture, and that got me in trouble with the police. I wasn't in trouble. I was questioned by the police. So I continued to McDonald's. So I tell my phone that I'm at McDonald's. I'm going to stop my screen sharing and try to cover some of this. So I I tell my phone that I'm at McDonald's. So now it says shopping list. I click on shopping list, and it's 3 items, and two of them, there's a special notation that says this visual does nothing because I don't have an order right now. So there's a special notation that says you got 3 items. One's a hamburger, the other's McNuggets, and the third one is an ice cream thing, a McFlurry. And on two of those 3 items, it says, if not available, cancel entire order. Well, of course, I've already paid. I've already photoed my receipt, and I've already said that I have the items. Notice from the kind people at McDonald's, no ice cream. Damn. So I called the customer. I had already tried to call the customer once because I had a question on the order. I went to voicemail. I didn't leave a voicemail. I went to the customer a second time. Again, my call comes into that customer identifying me as Postmates. So even though I'm calling from Tom Duty's phone with a 201 area code, I'm not identified as some strange number going into the customer. I'm identified as Postmates because I dial through the app. That in itself is awesome. So when I got a customer who's ignoring me, he's ignoring his order. Well, if he's ignoring his order and I've got problems with his order, then damn. So I click on the next level of help, which is the people of Facebook, people of Postmates, And within minutes, I have a woman on the line. I think she was in the Philippines. Excellent English. I could understand her perfectly. She was competent and helpful and polite, just wonderful. And she said, "Oh no, I'll call the customer." And I said, "No, I'm done with this order. I'm going to get a refund. I just want you to know that I said to the system that I have the items, and then it was a mistake. I said it prematurely. I do not have the items. I don't want to do this. Oh, we'll remove you from the job." So there you go, listeners. Please don't miss this. Removing from job. This is a great one. This bastard wants 3 items from McDonald's, and if 2 of them are unavailable, then he wants to cancel the order. So he wants some unknown person, which turns out to be my unfortunate event, to go to McDonald's and find out if they have ice cream for him. And if they don't have ice cream, he wants the whole thing canceled. Now, it is imaginable that someone wants this. It is bullshit that this person would would script his order to set me up the way he did. I didn't want to look at this guy's face. Ladies, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that this was a man. It very well could have been a woman. But my bias says only a man is capable of such impolite behavior, and that is absolutely not true. Um, maybe uh, yeah, of course, I knew it. I had it. No, I had his name at that time, so I am thinking he's a man, and he was a man, unless he had like one of those JR names, which I had a couple of yesterday. They were gender neutral, but I think this was a man, and I know it was a man. So novice people considering Postmates, you get into one of these orders, you just click help, you call your customer, it can't be remedied. You go to the next level of help, just tell them, remove me from the job. There is nothing that could have gotten me to finish that job. I wanted to choke the guy, not bring him food. I wanted him to starve to death. I did not want to feed him. Bastard. So, anyways, I am on the clock as of 3 minutes ago, and I have nothing. So as I do like 100 times a day when I'm idle, I go back and I say, "Oh, I'm online." Now this is very interesting. Right there. Priority dispatch on. Now, listeners, you saw it right here. This is a lesson that you just can't get anyplace else. You can, but it's rare. 10 minutes ago, 8 minutes ago, I was on the other side. I was unscheduled, and I went on, and priority dispatch just said no. Okay? So then I went online, which is also called on duty and off duty, but the app doesn't call it that. So I think that's an update. The lingo among Postmates people is on duty and off duty. But on the app it says online. So I go online, and then as soon as it ticked over the hour, this thing has changed to priority dispatch. So I am now priority dispatch. It is 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm at Port Authority Bus Terminal, and I'm going to click on this map, and I'm going to click on my location. Here we go. I'm in Manhattan now. I'm going to back out so that makes sense. Um, this this is a very very distinctive thing for me on Google Maps. That curly thing is a piece of New Jersey interstate Port Authority infrastructure called the Helix, and it's conspicuous on the Google Maps. As you can see, there are very few roads that do a creative twist like that. That's called the Helix, and that lines up cars for the Lincoln Tunnel. So I'm on the other side of this river right here. So there I am. I'm trying to, and these colors show the heat map. So obviously this is the hot spot. That's where you want to be, but I'm not there. I'm not bad. I'm not bad. So I'm priority dispatch. I'm in a zone that is not, uh, it is colored, and it's in that medium color. And so I should be okay. So listeners, please don't listen to this. When this phone is not going off, it doesn't take me more than a couple of minutes to say, "Oh shit, I'm doing something wrong." Okay? This is me right now saying and thinking and feeling anxious. God, what am I doing wrong? This thing's not going off yet. Whoops. This thing, but I'm online. I got priority dispatch and I'm in the zone. All right. I'm canceling this Hangouts now. I'm not going to sit here wait till it goes off. But I trust this thing will alert me very soon. I repeat something I said in the very beginning of this series. You Postmates, please, if you're considering this and you want to claim that you have advice or you watch my videos, please do not claim you know me or you've heard my videos unless you know that I'm telling you this. You don't have to do it, but at least know that I said it was important. You got to know your cell phone. I got on here today and I'll check the news on my way in. So I clicked. I say that because prior to that, I've been afraid that my battery would die, so I haven't been checking the news. So I clicked on, like anyone else would do, Google. I went to the Google menu and then to news, and I read one story. And then when I was done, I went back to my running apps. That little process, that started at least three. There was a Google search app, there was a Google app, and there's a Google News map. From one little click, 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 check the news. All of a sudden, I got three apps running that I don't need. Now, they might be doing nothing to decrease my battery power, but I'm paranoid. I get all the apps out of my, so I'm going to do that right now since this is what I believe is a critically important. You can't let the operation of your phone be a mystery. So for me, this is Android, so it'll be the same for anyone else. I go right there to managing apps. Now I'm in the managing apps, and these menus up here takes me over to running. So those are my running apps. So I'm going to scroll that up. I don't have to because the one at the bottom is the bottom of the list. I only have 4 apps running. To the best of my ability right now, it's not really the best. I still question it, but nearly the best of my ability. I need all of those 4. If I cut those 4, I start having problems with my phone. I do know that if I try to make them disabled, that I get warning signs that say, hey, you better not do this. So right now I only have 4 apps running. And the only notices I get, with one exception, I can't figure out how to turn off, is Wi-Fi. If I have Wi-Fi on, which I do on occasion, which I do which I do not right now. If I have Wi-Fi on, then as I'm walking around, all of a sudden it tries to notify me, hey, you've got networks in, which is useless information. So I try to turn Wi-Fi off as I walk around. So that with Wi-Fi off, this phone only alerts me for for Postmates stuff. This has been Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, a restful night's sleep. Ciao from Starbucks, Port Authority, New York City, near the Lincoln Tunnel. Ciao.